Let's discuss the different types of personal lines field inspections. Okay, there are several different types of field inspections that you will do when you go to someone's home. It's not always just the basics of outside taking pictures, and when you go inside after you've made an appointment, it's not all about taking just the same type of photos and getting the same type of questions answered and getting out of there. There are different types of inspections that you may have to do when you go inside of someone's house. So we're going to start with the basics today. And the basics is, of course, the outside. Of course, you already know that. This is ones where you pull up and you get the basics, the address, the front, the back, the left, the right, the roof. If there's a pool or a detached garage in the back, you get the whole thing, the shed, whatever you see loose, any type of hazards that may be out there, you need to snap a picture of. The driveway has a lift in it. Whatever you need to do, you do it. Okay, now, let's keep moving forward. There is another one as far as the outside too. And this is an observation form that they give you along with the outside inspection. This one has a whole lot of other different questions on it, and instead of you just taking the pictures and going on, you have to actually fill out this form. They're going to have a lot of detailed questions on there, and you'll have to answer those yourself without the help of the homeowner, because this is not requiring an appointment. These types of inspections are not the same as the basic DOS where you pull up and get the pictures, so they do pay a little bit more than the first basic inspection. Okay, so now that we've gotten rid of everything on the outside for right now, because there's other different things that you do on the outside based off the type of inspection that you do, but it's so much and so many in detail until I cannot just put all of them in here, because I know that I'll lose a couple of you, especially being that I talk so fast sometimes anyway, and I don't want to make this video that long. So we're just going to do with just my list that I have here, we're going to stick to that. Okay, so now when you get ready to go inside the house, there are different types of inspections. You're not going to just be going in someone's house and asking them the same basic lines of questions and then taking the same basic photos and then shaking a hand and saying nice to have met you and getting out of there. No, there are different types of inspections that are required, and based off of whatever your form is, that is the type of inspection that you'll be setting an appointment for. So we're going to start with the smallest of the few, which is an amplified observation survey inspection. This type of inspection, the only thing you're doing is just a step up. So always think of the ones that I'm talking about as a step up from the next. You had the basic line, and then you had the one where you do the observation on the outside along with the basic. And now we have moved one step up into the house to the third step up. This is the amplified observation survey inspection. All you're doing is basically setting an appointment so that you can gain contact to the insured and be able to ask them exactly whatever is on the form that needs to be asked. It's just an observational thing. You go in, you ask a few quick questions, and then you get out of there. Just please remember that even though you are doing an inspection on the inside of the house, you will still always have to take your images on the outside of the home. That is always included in every inspection. So now let's just move on. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Okay, so now we have other different types of inspections. We have the 4-point inspections, we have the HEP inspection, we have the mid-value home inspection, we have the high-value home inspection, but we're going to stick to, let's see which one should we go first. We're going to go to the 4-point. The 4-point inspection. This is an inspection just requires you to go in and check the 4 major components of the home. And it is going to be the plumbing, the electric, the roof, the HVAC. So you're going to have an appointment for this type of inspection. When you go in the home, you're going to have a set of questions that need to be answered by the insured or whoever the contact is who's coming to meet you. And you're going to have to do that along with the actual inspection of the 4-point. Then along with that, on the outside of the house, the basics. If you want to know what's going on with the 4-point, I do have a PDF for 4-point inspection, which will give you all the details of what you need to know, and that could be found on both of my websites, on dmichelle.com or on my payhip at unleash.com. The links are in the description. Okay, so let's move on. The next one is for HEP. HEP, HEP. That means heating, electric, plumbing. Okay, so with a heating, electric, plumbing, the same thing. You're gonna have to have an appointment to get inside of the house, because most of the equipment that you're looking for is inside of the house. The plumbing's in the house. Sometimes they have electrical in the house. They may have an additional type of heating element in the house. And you're going to have to gain access to all of those things. And you can't do those without making an appointment first. And then, of course, you have the outside of the house, which is the basic photos that still have to be taken. I'm going to keep saying that because I don't want people to think that you go in the house, and because you go in the house, you don't have to do the outside. You're going to have to do the outside each and every time. Okay, so let's move on because I'm trying to keep this swift for you guys. The next one is a mid-value home. Mid-value home is one step down from a high-value house. High-value house, mid-value house, basic personalized inspection home. So the mid-value is just a little bit pretty much the same as what you would do for a high value home when you go do the inspection. It's just that the amount that the house is deemed to be worth based off its environment and where it's sitting in the surrounding areas and all of those things that make up a high value home, it's like a half of that. So you get what I'm saying. It's the mid value. The only pretty much difference it is from the mid value inspection than the high value inspection is the price that they're gonna pay you to do it. Okay, but these inspections is gonna require almost everything that needs to be done as far as imagery in and outside of a home. Everything. Okay, which brings me to the high value home, which is once again everything that is required or that you could possibly think of that they want is in there. But don't worry. Now, most companies will give you a list of the things that they want you to take a picture of. So a lot of companies won't. So I'm not going to even say most, because I've run across those that don't give you a list of nothing. They just assume you know what you're doing and what you're going to take pictures of. And if you miss something, or if you miss questionnaire, whatever you got to get done, they will send you back. And trust and believe they're not going to pay you for a second trip. So make sure that if you take on a mid-value or high-value home, that you know exactly what you are there to take images of and the questions that are required to be asked. Make sure you know, because you don't want to have to go back. Because in my experience, as far as the high value homes, most of the insurers who own these homes, they are so much harder, it seems, to make an appointment with than the average Joe home. It's like they hear me on the voicemail and they're like, who is this peasant? I don't know what they be thinking, but sometimes it's harder to set those appointments for these high value homes. Don't get me wrong, now there's a lot of really sweet people, but you know, this is my experience. I'm just telling you my experience. And there are a lot of people who own these high value homes. It's hard to get in touch with them. So the last thing you want to do is miss images. Miss things that you need to do when you go for the appointment, and now you gotta call these people again. The second time you call them, after they already saw you, you know you're finna have to chase them. You're gonna have to call everybody. You gotta call the agency. You're gonna be sending all types of emails. Trust me, I've been there, seen that, done that, which is one of the reasons why I decided I would make these types of videos, so you guys would know up hand, make sure that you do what you need to do. And if you don't know for a fact what is required, of course, once again, I have created a course for that very thing. Okay, high value home inspection course is also located in both of my website. Links are in the description. If you are having to do mid-value home, you can use that one as the same reference, because at the end of the day, if you do one, you do the other. Tomato, there it is. Okay, so now I think that I've ran across all the ones that I wanted to talk about for today. Yes, I have. I just wanted to make sure that you guys know for sure that there are several different types of inspections when you go inside of the home. I know there are a few more, and some companies may not call it a HEP. They may call it something else. Some may not call it a amplified observation. They may call it something else. It all depends on the company. They have their own different ways that they have of speaking when it comes to naming these different types of inspections. But once I see them and I go to actually do one, I realize that it is exactly the same inspection that I've done before with another company They just gave it a different name. So with that being said, I hope you guys have liked what I have brought to you today. Please subscribe, turn on notification bell if you have not already, because you know I'm going to be bringing you back something later. Thank you guys so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day.